और तलबा को उनके हुनर सिखाकर अपने लिए बाइज़्ज़त रोजगार कमाने के काबिल बनाया जाए। मेरे ज़हन में कोई शक नहीं कि अगर हमने दुनिया की तरक्की याफ्ता कौमों की सफ़ों में शामिल होना है तो मुल्लाइज़्म की बजाय हमें बानी पाकिस्तान कायद-ए-आज़म मोहम्मद के इस तस्वर पाकिस्तान को अपनाना होगा जो उन्होंने 11 अगस्त 1947 को पाकिस्तान की पहली आइन साज असेंबली से खिताब करते फरमाया था। यही एक रास्ता है जिस पर आगे चल के पाकिस्तान को सही मायनों में जदीद और फलाही मुमक्किन बनाया जा सकता है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Jazakallah. Now, as yesterday we mentioned that by the grace of Allah, we have good relationships with the police force throughout the United Kingdom. And this afternoon we have another representation from the police. Superintendent Simon Phipps, who has 20 years experience in the police service, is nowadays responsible for all of Hounslow and is one of the most diverse communities in England, with over 150 languages being spoken in the area. He has been a good friend of the community for many years, and I would invite him to come and say a few words.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. As superintendent on one of the most diverse parts of London in Hounslow, I've been asked to speak to you today to talk about my work with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association. And with your support, I'd like to explain some of the practical things that we do with the association to make Hounslow and London a safer place. I'm grateful to be given the opportunity to speak at this prestigious event, and I'm pleased to be able to address so many of you today. Now, in Hounslow, as you've heard, it's one of the most complicated parts of London to police. We have over 1/4 of our population were not born in the United Kingdom, and over half do not speak English as their first language. So you can imagine, as a police officer, it's an interesting job to find out what the concerns of the community are. But with the help of the Ahmadiyya Association, we can achieve this. Now, I'll give you some examples of how the association help us to make Hounslow safer. Because with the aid of local representatives from the association, we examine local policing policy and we examine local incidents, and I'm forever on the phone to my local representative to ask advice on how they think that we should be dealing with incidents. Now, a practical example is the police use of stop and search, because all over London the communities are quite concerned about the police use of stop and search, and sometimes feel that the police are being disproportionate in their use of the power. And so what I do on a local basis is, with my local friends from the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, we examine the data from the stop and search, and we see the proportion of various communities that have been stopped and searched by police. Now, at present in particular, we've seen a lot of use of the Prevention of Terrorism Act stop and search, and we have many communities that fear that police are being disproportionate, particularly in terms of the Muslim communities. But I can tell you that we do not target communities, but we target behaviour, and we look for specific types of behaviour that we treat as suspicious, rather than the actual community that the person might come from. And so what we do with our local Ahmadiyya Muslim Association is we look at the data, and we found in Hounslow that in fact we stop and arrest more white people than any other community, which is quite a surprise, and that's not what we were expecting when we looked at the data. Now, we also use our representatives from the community to tell us what local concerns are, and if we have any serious incidents to deal with in London, we go to local representatives, such as from those from our association, and we ask for their advice as to how we should deal with particular matters. And through creating those communication channels, we're able to create a bridge between the communities, and the various representatives can tell us what the concerns of their community are. And so for all of you today, we've had some interesting speakers this morning who've talked about the fragmentation of some parts of the communities in the United Kingdom, and we've also heard about the important role that the Muslim Association should play in bringing those parts of the communities together. And so for all of you, it's absolutely critical that you work with your local police and work with your local establishment to tell them what your concerns are, and so together we can take local solutions to resolve your local problems. So once again, thank you for inviting me today, and I wish you peace for this afternoon. Thank you.
Mr. Simon Fitz. Thank you very much. This year, we have a number of dignitaries from abroad, and our next speaker comes from Burkina Faso. He is a member of parliament and thus represents the parliament and the country of Burkina Faso. He has very good relationships with the Jamaat and is engaged in a number of projects within the country. I'd request Honorable Odigro Sayabu to come and say a few words, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Sa sainteté Khalifatul Masih V, honorables invités, participantes et participants, c'est un honneur et un plaisir immense pour moi de participer à la conférence annuelle de la communauté islamique Ahmadiyya. Cette invitation est à la fois une marque de considération et d'estime aux autorités de mon pays, le Burkina Faso. Je voudrais donc traduire ma joie, mes félicitations et ma reconnaissance au Khalifatul Masih V et à ses plus proches collaborateurs. Je voudrais également élargir mes félicitations à la Jamaat islamique Ahmadiyya du Burkina Faso qui sans cesse œuvre pour le développement de la foi, la paix et le développement humanitaire. Mesdames et messieurs, le Burkina Faso a une vocation essentiellement agro-pastorale. La majeure partie de la population cherche difficilement son développement en tirant ses revenus dans le domaine de l'agriculture et de l'élevage. C'est pourquoi l'installation de la mission Ahmadiyya en 1987 au Burkina Faso revêt une grande opportunité pour les populations qui aspirent à la paix et au développement humain durable. La Jamaat Ahmadiyya, fidèle à ses idéaux, lutte sans relâche dans les domaines de l'humanité, la paix et le développement. Le Burkina Faso a été bénéficiaire en si peu de temps de la réhabilitation de 400 forages, de l'organisation de nombreux camps médicaux qui ont permis à des milliers de personnes de recevoir des soins gratuits, plus de 400 opérations gratuites de cataracte, de 6 centres informatiques, de mosquées et d'écoles, d'une école de couture, de 2 hôpitaux modernes, de plusieurs centres de soins homéopathiques, d'une radio et de 2 en instance. Mesdames et messieurs, un tel tableau en faveur du développement ne peut passer inaperçu. Les nombreux fidèles et l'ensemble de la population du Burkina Faso sont très sensibles à toutes ces réalisations. Aussi, l'organisation d'une telle conférence annuelle revêt à mes yeux une importance capitale, car c'est le lieu idéal de faire le bilan de l'action humanitaire de la communauté Ahmadiyya à travers le monde et de tisser des perspectives en faveur de la foi islamique, la paix et le développement. Mesdames et messieurs, je voudrais une fois de plus féliciter sa sainteté, le Khalifatul Masih V, pour la tenue de cette conférence et réitérer toute ma reconnaissance et ma gratitude pour l'honneur fait à mon pays et à ma modeste personne en décidant de m'inviter à la présente conférence annuelle de la communauté Ahmadiyya. Je voudrais, du haut de cette tribune, exhorter la communauté Ahmadiyya à persévérer ses efforts dans la foi pour la paix